Okay. I want to talk for a minute about the warming oven. This, to me, is one of the neatest features of a wood cook stove. Now, on the gas, electric, and dual fuel ranges, that is where we keep some of our controls and where we have the exhaust system, the vent system. And the wood models, you can see that it's a box, but it's a really, really neat part of the stove. It's located above, but over the heat. So it's almost like a private box at a stadium, how it comes out over the playing field. This thing is out over here, so there's going to be a significant amount of warmth come up into that. There's actually a hole in it so it doesn't get too hot in there. But it's a great warming oven. The area on top of here is great for proofing bread. And there's lots and lots of uses that you can put this to.
So it's just a passive warming area.
Exactly, that's what's great about it. Because again, the wood cook stove has no electricity, it has no gas. You got to do the work, but there's a self-sufficiency to this, which is fantastic. But there's also an independence to it. That if the power's off, and everybody else is having issues, you're fine. Because again, you've got all these different functions you can do, and having this, again, look at how low tech it is. It's a box.
Yeah, I mean, this would be almost perfect temperature for proofing bread.
It's great up there.
It could be about
now,
80, 85 degrees.
One thing I want to show you is the adjustability of this door tension. I don't know if you can pick it up, Gary, but on either side here there are springs, and they're up on the rear. There's screws, so these are under tension. And what you may find in a showroom is that if this is opened a lot, it just won't stay closed. It keeps coming open. So what you can do is you can simply tighten those up and create the tension. Now, for a while here, when the guys started making these, they were ready to use this as a mousetrap. They had it so tight that you could just about not get the door open. So this is really nice. They worked on this a lot, and this is perfect. It'll stay closed on its own. It'll stay open on its own, and if it's too tight, it won't stay open. It'll just keep closing. But this is a very adjustable system. Now, one of the nice things about selling these is that once they're installed, there's really not that much. I mean, these will last a long, long time. They're very rugged. Now, there are many wood cook stoves made by small companies across North America that sell for a lot less money than these do. These are the, I guess you could say, the Cadillacs, or being British, we could say the Rolls-Royce or Bentley of the wood cook stove world. But what you get with is value and durability. And I always say what the wood cook stove is, it's the difference between a play toy SUV and a serious off-road vehicle. Is that, you know, there's a BlackBerry commercial running right now where there's two brothers that are DJs, and they say we want tools, not toys. This is a tool. It's a piece of equipment. It's not a toy. And these are designed to be able to handle things. The owner will see with time that there are some things that need to be tightened up. That's one of the things that should be tightened up. Another thing that we've done with these, which to me is a great thing, is that within the firebox, there are what are called wear parts, and those wear parts can be replaced. So you have in here a cast iron section of the firebox and then several pieces of fire brick. There is a fire brick down inside the firebox, another piece along the edge between the firebox and the oven. And those pieces of fire brick are all replaceable. They can all be taken out, and we sell replacements, and it's a pretty good business for us. But it's important for the customer to realize that long term, these pieces will wear out. You don't want to abuse them, and they should last for several years, but there will come a time when they need to be replaced. And again, everything unbolts, everything comes out, and we have the replacements on the shelves here around us that can keep this thing going for a long, long time. Now, there's another really interesting phenomenon with these two models that many people, even who own the stove, don't know about. And within the PowerPoint presentation, there's a section that talks about the summer setting. And what we mean by the summer setting is that there is the ability with both of these models to move the grate up and make the firebox smaller. And on this model, it moves from here up to here. And so you take this piece out, remove the bolt, take this piece, and set it across there. Actually take the bolt out and the whole thing will move up in there. You can't have the bolt in, but the rest of it will shake a great can. And over here, it's similar, but Amy and I worked on this the other day. There's a bracket and we have the model number in there. And there's a bracket that you have to purchase to put at the back, a U-shaped bracket that goes at the back of the Sweetheart firebox that the grate would rest on. But what it does is that if you are in a, say, an off-the-grid situation, which we have customers, we have these delivered by barge, they've been helicoptered into really remote fishing camps and so on, and there are people that want to cook on them in the summertime. You don't need the heat, you don't need the ability to heat up 1,500 square feet. What you want to be able to do is to have breakfast in the morning and maybe build a small fire to take the edge off the cooler early autumn morning. And having this summer setting is a great feature, particularly if you're off the grid for spring, summer, and early fall use of the stove. With the oval, there's no extra cost. There's a small, I think it's $37, isn't it, Amy, for that piece for the Sweetheart. So it's not a lot of money, but as I say, it's a really good feature to be able to adjust the size of the firebox if you want to, so you're not generating as much heat, but you can still cook. Because what it will mean is you can still warm up the top of the cast very well. You simply can't, it's not going to heat a big space because the firebox is only about that big instead of being that deep. Now with the oval, we have what's called the key plate up. Now this is one of the mystery pieces of a wood cook stove, and on these units we're often asked, what is this bracket for? Well, it's for what's called the key plate. And the key plate, you have the ability with this key plate to lift the key plate up above so you can get access to the whole firebox. Now, I do not recommend doing that to load wood. You can, but you're going to get smoke into the home. It's impossible to prevent it. What you can do to lessen that is you can open up all your air chambers and divert the smoke up the chimney, and that will have less smoke in there, but you're still going to have it. Where it's really great for is if you have to change the fire brick or for doing a really good cleaning, because if you lift the key plate up, you've got great access down into the firebox. But you can, if you want to load big blocks of wood in the winter time, you can load them that way, and you can get a bigger block of wood in this way than in through there. But you can still get a good sized block, and you're not going to get the smoking using the front door that you're going to get using the top.